This is a lesson I want to stress about the importance of keeping the law, because without the law, we're no different than these heathens in the world. We're no different than these heathens that you see that's over in India, Pakistan, uh, any of these other places that have their so-called organized religion, but they involved in all other type of debauchery, eating uh, dogs, eating snakes, squid and stuff like that. You know, we're no different than them. This law is what makes us, you know, have order. We don't we're not supposed to live like the heathen. The heathens, we're supposed to be an example. This is how you're supposed to live. Oh, okay, all right. This is how this thing supposed to work of life is supposed to go. You know, real quick. This is Deuteronomy 4 and verse 5. It says, Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Nations meaning the Gentiles, which shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So the other nations, they supposed to look and see like, man, like what's the guy? I think Muhammad. When he created Islam, you know, he was around a bunch of Israelites, and he was like, man, this is basically like this is order. You know, he was like, man, this is insane, and he was influenced by it. The other nation's supposed to do the same. They're supposed to be like, man, I really want to, you know, we need to have some type of order like this. But what happens is other nations, they look and they pattern themselves after ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon. They all trying to figure out how to solve this life thing, you know. But if we were in our power standing, doing what we were supposed to do, we would be, example. Okay, that's how you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. These other cultures got some wild and crazy practices. Revenge, rape, shit like that. Where if a man has a beef with another man or he ain't paid his debt off, they'll go and gang rape his wife or his daughter or something like that to bring shame upon the family. That's not how you go about handling civil matters like that. They do that, a lot of that stuff in like the Pacific Islanders and stuff like that. There's a way that is just, and that's why we have these laws, and they're amazing, they're perfect, and I don't know what my life would be personally without it. This is Psalms 119 and verse 97. Oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Why? Because in Deuteronomy chapter 6, and I believe verse 6, maybe 7, maybe verse 5, but the earlier verses in Deuteronomy chapter 6 is talks about how you're supposed to meditate on the law day and night. It is it's a beautiful thing to sit and think about the laws, why they were made. Sometimes meditating, it's revealed in you why they were made, why it keeps certain things in order. Uh, there's another one. Uh, Strap it down to 119, 109 says, "My soul is continually in my hand, yet I do not forget thy law." Because the law, is what keeps us close to the Heavenly Father. And when we sin and break the law, we push ourselves farther away from the Heavenly Father. It's a constant, battle that we have. It's that flesh. That flesh wants to sin. That spirit wants to, be right with God. This is Romans chapter 2 and verse. Matter of fact, before I grab that, let's grab Deuteronomy 11 and verse 26. Yeah. Deuteronomy 11:26, it says, "Behold, I've set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if ye obey the commandments of your Lord your God, which I command you this day." So if we keep the commandments, you get a blessing. If you break them, you get a curse. It's I can't think of a more incentive to keep the laws of the Heavenly Father. You don't want to be cursed by the Heavenly Father. You don't want to, be going about your day, and then you realize, man, here it is. You get into a major car accident, all because, you broke the commandments, and you understand that something bad or some type of pending judgment is on its way. That's not the way I want to live. That's not the way any Israelite wants to live. It's always that flesh. You know, and there's some people that there's some stuff. Honestly, when your spirit that is wrong. There's some stuff you got to be taught. I didn't understand eating corn dog was wrong. I didn't understand eating pork was wrong. Some people they did, and that's a blessing to them. I didn't know it. I wasn't taught it. Till I came into this truth and I realized we ain't got nothing to do with that. Bacon. Uh, I mean, there's some animals I know I like. Raccoon. I got fed raccoon one time, and I just knew it was wrong. And just it was just disgusting and just nasty. You know, but there's some stuff that you have to be taught. The Bible talks about sinning in your ignorance. Even the person who's actually wise in the law can actually break the law, on accident. That's why you're supposed to be constantly studying in the law all day. We're supposed to be talking about them while we're on the way and stuff like that. This is Romans chapter 2 and verse 14. Wait a second. I'll start Romans 2 and 11. "For there is no respect of persons with God. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law. And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law." So there's some people who might have were not brought up under the covenant, but they still going to be judged. They still, but the thing is that, you know, they're not going to get it as hard as somebody who knew the instructions and what to do. They basically, the person who knows doesn't have no cloak for his sins. The person who didn't know, he's still going to be judged, but it's like that person's blood will be required on somebody else's hand that was supposed to teach them. That's why we're supposed to go out here and teach. For as many as have sinned without law, so you mean you didn't know, certain stuff was wrong. You didn't know that you were not supposed to. You're supposed to conduct the Passover. You didn't. You didn't know that you're not supposed to. What's some simplicity sins I'm trying to think of. Do your own pleasures on the Sabbath day. You don't know that you're not supposed to light a fire on the Sabbath day. You're still going to be judged, but nothing like somebody who actually knows better. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law, and as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. So a person that's perished, they're still judged. There are some people who actually think this homosexuality, is okay. There's some people who actually do it and they know that it's wrong. They're still going to be judged. Whether a person is engaging in homosexuality and they think nothing's wrong with it, and it's no different than a man and a woman, they're still catching HIV and AIDS and stuff like that and getting judged. And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. And that's one of the things that people in the world hate us, because once we tell them now, the blood is off our hand. It's on them. You engage in homosexuality. You know it's wrong. I've told you it's wrong. I've read the scripture that it's wrong. They don't have no cloak for their sin at all. Stop telling me. They try to rationalize within themselves. But when judgment day comes, when you judge before when the books are open, you a judge, you ain't gonna be able to say that you're gonna be asked, why was you doing this? Not tell me, how you justified it and why did you think it's okay? And and I'll give you a pass. You did it. And you weren't supposed to do it. Verse 14, for when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. So some people, they know certain stuff is wrong. You read the book of Corinthians, you have people sleeping with their stepmoms and stuff like that. In the book of Judges, it said every man did that was right in their own eyes. Well, you got to do what's right in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. Our righteousness is as filthy rags. There's some people that understand that eating pork is wrong. I wasn't one of them. But it's a blessing for those that do. Whether they just heard something in Islam or they just was told from a youth and maybe they couldn't correlate it with it being against the Mosaic laws, or they just knew in their spirit. Some people understand that having anal sex with a woman is wrong. Some people just think that, hey, it's just a hole. But that's it on this lesson. That'll conclude. And I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem HaKakodash. Double honors to elders GMS Ruel. Peace, salutations, and shalom.